Finding yourself bored and numb? Well, no worries, because now you can get the all-new Ing Pods. So now you can listen to math on the go or on the road. So why stall? Get the all-new Ing Pods today.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Eng. Let's go over the 7.5 IM3 Module 2 test, 2.1, 2.5, February 17th. This is version A. Multiple choice directions, circle the best answer. Question number 1, circle the correct answer given the following graph. Point E, if I locate on my graph, is here, and this is touching the x-axis. This is called the x-intercept. Number 2, starting from point C, so I'm going from C to A, so I'm going from C this way to A. Well, we're going up, right, left to right. This would be increasing. Point A or B has a local minimum at -5. So here is A, and here is B. Well, B is here, and you'll notice you're counting down by 0, -5, -10, -15, -20. So that would be choice B. The function has how many turning points? Turning points is going from increasing to decreasing, or decreasing to increasing. It's a U-turn. So here's the U-turn. So that is one turning point. And over here, that is your second turning point. B is the turning point. So that would be 2 is your answer. The graph has a symmetry. So symmetry, even is like the phrase evenly. This one is about a line of the y-axis. So here's my y-axis here in dark blue, and you cannot fold it hot dog or skinny wise, and it would not be the same graph. So it is not even. Let's take a look at odd. Odd would be symmetrical about a point, the origin. So could I rotate this graph here 180 degrees? So one quadrant is 90, and if I brought it over here, would that be the same graph? Okay, you would be close, but you would notice that this point is not, G is not about the origin, so it's not odd. Another way of saying odd symmetry is folding corners, like quadrant. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. You would say corners 2 to 4 or 1 to 3, and that does not. So the answer would be, in this case, neither. This has neither symmetry. Number 2, complete the sentence to describe the end behavior. So this is an even degree, the easiest even degree we know. Is it starts up, ends up, but this one has a negative leading coefficient, so it's going to look like something like that. So the sentence, as x approaches positive infinity, this is going towards the right. So as I go towards the right, where is the arrow? Where is the graph going? The graph is going down. Down would be negative infinity, f of x. That is the y values. This would be going down. Select the domain and range of the function. So here is our graph. This is an odd degree. The easiest one we know is x to the first, so it's going to look like this. And your leading coefficient is positive, so the arrows are going to stay. So your graph might look something like this. You notice that these are called power functions, and basically all that means is there's nothing over here in dark blue. So domain means that you're going from left to right. And anytime you, as I do this, as long as you have a arrow, here's one, negative to positive, So 2 arrows is negative infinity to positive infinity. Basically means you could pick all real numbers and the whole graph. So that one works. These two don't. And so far, C is okay. The range is going from bottom to top. So as I go for my graph again, I hit the arrow, which means all the negative numbers, and I keep going, and it touches there, which means the graph keeps going up. So that would be negative infinity to positive infinity. And the only one that has that is both of these, so that would be C is our correct answer. Now, let me talk about what 0 to infinity would look like. 0 to infinity would look like range is the y-axis. You would start here. So the graph would pretty much, if the graph was just here in green, that's what the range would be, 0 to positive infinity. Number 4, use a function f of x equals negative 3x to the third plus 6x to the fourth minus 8x squared plus 10x plus 16 to complete the following. What is the degree of this polynomial? The degree is the largest degree. Okay, so, but the graph has to be in descending order. What does that mean? The highest degree goes first, and then the 3, and then the 2, and then the 1, and then the 0. And then the one with the highest degree, that is our degree of our polynomial. The common mistake is to think that it is the first one you see, and it's not 3, Okay? Number 5, use the table of values for the function f of x equals 4x to the third plus 6x squared minus 3x minus 2 to complete the sentence. So again, this test was meant to be done without a graphing calculator. So you can just literally take this graph and just graph it. I want it up here. So I'm going to put up positive 50 up here and negative 50 down here. So when I graph this one, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 3, negative 47, something down here. This one, negative 2, still negative. This one, negative 1, 3, so now it's positive. 0, negative 2, so 0 on the x-axis, negative 2. So I have a y-intercept there. 1, 5. So just give yourself a visual, and then you'll see a pattern also with the table of values, 2, 48, right 2, up 48. So this is what my graph kind of looks like. And then here we're looking for a relative maximum. And that would actually be this blue point. And this is where x is equal to negative 1 is your correct answer. Now, you might think that 48 is the highest number. So that would be the orange. You're thinking this one. But remember, a maximum is you're going up, then down. It's a mountain. And this one doesn't show a mountain. That's just a straight line. Number 6, is each expression a polynomial? Select a polynomial or not a polynomial. Polynomials have degrees that are, or their exponents are all positive, so no negatives. You can't have variables, so no variables, no fractions or decimals, okay? So this one here is a negative. That would be not a polynomial because that one has a negative. C is a polynomial. You'll notice that these are all whole numbers, okay? Number 7, which is a simplified expression. So you can do this in two ways. You can distribute this negative sign, which basically means you change all of the math operations. So if I did that, that would become the opposite of positive 2. That would become a negative. The opposite of negative 8 was positive 8. Opposite of positive 7 would be negative 7. The opposite of negative 9 is positive 9. And then the opposite of positive 7 would be negative 7. And then I'm going to just write all of these above it. I'm doing this vertically. And you'll notice that these are all like terms. Like terms basically means that they have the same amount of x's in some ways. That's another way of saying it. These are like terms, so you do nothing to those. And then you just do the number in front. 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 plus 8 is 11. X to the third. Remember, you don't change the exponent. Use your calculator, 5x, and this would be negative 2. And so then your correct answer would be C. Did I get it? Okay. Number 8. Which is the following is the expansion of j plus k to the 5th power? I'm just going to just really quickly, I don't have a binomial chart in front of me, so I can just recreate it. And then we're going to the nth power, that is 5. So that would be this row. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1 is what I need. And so the only option in that one is B. You'll notice that's correct because you have 5 on the J's, 5 for counting down 3, 2, 1, and then this is j to the 0. And then you'll also notice that it's counting up from the k. So k to the 0, k to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, question number 9, determine the quotient. Write the dividend as a product of the divisor and quotient plus the remainder. So the quotient should tell you you can either do this through long division or you can do this through synthetic division. And I will do both. You can skip to the one you need to know, and then I'll write out the answer from both. So for long division, I have x plus 2. Did you guys hear my burp? Excuse me. 4x to the third plus 23x squared plus 22x minus 10. If you look at your formula sheet, the first thing we need to do is division. And what I'm dividing here is x goes into 4x to the third. And that's just 4 times x times x times x over x. If you cancel these, then you're left with just 4x squared. And that's what I'm writing here. Then we're going to multiply. So 4x squared times x is 4x to the third. And 4x squared times 2 is going to give me 8x squared positive. All right, here's the tricky part. You're going to have to be subtracting. So if I subtract 4 minus 4, I get 0. 0x to the third, I'm not going to write down. And then 23 minus 8 is 15. 15x squared. I'm going to take 15x squared and divide it by x. And if you do that, you realize that your answer is just 15x. And that's right, I write up here. I'm going to multiply 15x times x, which is 15x squared. Oops, forgot to bring that down. 15x times 2 is 30x. We're going to subtract 15 minus 15 is 0, so I don't have to write the first term. And then 22 minus 30 is negative 8x x. So I'm going to take negative 8x, and I'm going to divide that by x. So that'll be left with negative 8. So negative 8 times x, I forgot to bring that down again. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. And negative 8 times 2 over here, that will give you negative 16. We're going to subtract these. Negative 8 minus a negative 8, so that becomes 0. Remember, use your calculator if you're stuck on these. And negative 10 minus negative 16, so that's opposite of negative 16, which is positive. So negative 10 plus 16 will give you 6 as your remainder. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this with synthetic division. I'm going to set this one equal to 0. So I'm turning a factor into a 0. Subtract 2, x is equal to negative 2. That's what goes here on my outside. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my division sign. And then the coefficients, 4, 23, 22, and negative 10. You'll notice there's no missing terms. What that means is it counts down, x to the third, 2, 1, 0, so nothing's missing. And I just write down those numbers, 4, 23, 22, negative 10. Then the first term I'm going to bring down, I'm going to multiply negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 23 minus 8 is 15. And you'll notice these numbers are familiar because they're the same numbers as when you long division. Negative 2 times 15 is negative 30. And if I add down, I get negative 8. And that gives me 16. And I add down, and I get 6. So this is your remainder. And how we write that is 6 over the factor. The factor is x plus 2. 6 is positive. And then this one is going to become negative 8. That's the constant. There's no x. And then here you're going to add an x. And this one you're going to add another x to the previous one. So that'll be kind of like a 4x squared. And you'll notice that my answers, let's see if I can highlight it, here and here are the same. So I'll just label the parts. So we need the quotient. The quotient is here and up here. So 4x squared plus 15x minus 8. Next, we need the plus the remainder. So that would be that second part. So write the dividend. I forgot to write the dividend, which is the inside. Dividend is in orange. Dividend. That is 4x to the third plus 23x squared plus 22x minus 10. This is equal to the divisor. The divisor is what's on the outside here, divisor. And I forgot to write that, so I'm just going to write it over here. It's totally okay because that's a S. Because in multiplication, you can just change the order. Let's make sure that's clear. So this is our answer. Okay, we need to expand, and I'm just going to go back up to the previous problem. It's to the fourth. Where did we do it? Here it is. So we need something to the fourth. So this is the nth power. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to use 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So I got my coefficients with the nth, and then next I'm just going to use my a's and b's. If you want to use a's and b's, you can and transfer it back. So the a's, we're going to count down from 4. A to the 4, A3, A2, A1, A0. And then I'll do my b's. B's are counting up to 4 from 0. B0, B1, B2, B3, and B4. And then next, you can expand these. So a to the 4th, the a value is 2m. Does this make sense? So I'm just going back now. For every a value, I'm just substituting. Every a value, I'm putting in 2m. Oh, that's a 1. And that means every b value is going to be 5k. And you have to use parentheses. Whoops. And I'm going to go back and put in my coefficients. Okay, a couple of notes before you do this. You are, don't forget, here's some tips. Don't forget to use PEMDAS. And then second, anything to the 0 power, like 4k to the 0 power, that's going to equal 1. The whole parentheses, anything to that power is going to equal 1. So let's go ahead and simplify this. Let's see if I can just do that with one color, and I'll highlight all of them. So the idea that anything to the 0 power is equal to 1 is here. So I'm highlighting a box, and that's just times 1. And that's all the way over here, and that's just times 1. Okay, over here. Remember, just quick lesson. 2m to the 4th power is 2m times 2m 4 times. Do you see that? The degree or exponent's like a quantity, how many shoes you add into your cart. So if I want 4 pairs of Air Jordan 1s, well, it's not going to write it out 4 times. It's just going to say quantity 4, count 4. But that also means 2 to the 4th power is not 8. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which you will get is 16. So 1 times 16 times 1, and then you'll have 4 m's. 1, 2, 3, 4. M to the 4th power. And if you simplify all of this, that's just going to be 16m to the 4th power. So when in doubt, write it out for the exponents. When in doubt, write it out. I like to do all the coefficients first. So 2 to the 3rd power, 2 times 2 times 2, that's going to be 8. 8 times 4 is going to be 32. I'm pulling out my calculator, and then 32 times 5 is going to be 160. This is going to be m to the 3rd power, and you just have k to the 1st, or just k. Okay, 2 squared is going to be 4. Whoops. You have the 6, and then 5 squared is 25. So I'm going to multiply all those numbers. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 25 is going to be 600. Okay, now I have m to the 2nd, and I have k to the 2nd. 4 times 2 to the 1st times 5 to the 3rd, so that would be 4 times 2 times 5 to the 3rd power is 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So if I multiply all of those numbers, you'll get 1,000. 1,000 m to the 1st, or just m, and then k to the 3rd. So here I have 1 times 1, and then this is 5 to the 4th power. Remember, it's not 5 times 4, it's 5 exponent, or degree 4. So 25 times 25 would give us 625. When I did the green here, everything to the 1st, or anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. The whole box is equal to 1. The whole box is equal to 1, and you have k to the 4th. And that's it. I'm going to check my answer, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Let's go back in blue. The M's are counting down. 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't have to write the 1 there. Just writing it to show you. And then there's M to the 0 over here. And then the K's are counting up. Remember, that's K to the 0. That's a K to the 1. K, 2, 3, 4. And then the coefficients don't stay 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. They are changed based on what you have there. Hopefully that was helpful. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Finding yourself bored and numb? Well, no worries. Cause now you can get the all-new Eng Pods. So now you can listen to math on the go or on the road. So why stall? Get the all-new Eng Pods today.